we would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just lay down.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running. It's the OD and the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Well, who won? I mean, it was a good night for it, right? Who won? Was it officiated okay? Oh, you don't like the referees. I mean, moderators or whatever. Do they answer the questions? Do they get the job done? Welcome to News Radio KOB. No? You want to do this today? Is that not on the rundown? All right. Yeah, no. It's over there. It's just fine. Good morning.
I didn't watch it.
You didn't? Really?
It's political theater.
Yeah. Which is in largest part why I did.
Fun for people, but wasn't changing my mind on anything.
No, I don't know that it changed 1% of America's mind to watch that debate last night. And depending on which side you're on, you will tell me that your candidate won and why, or more so why the other candidate lost. Like it's amazing how they had the spin room and they already had the surrogates for each candidate who were going to go no matter what happened to tell you how well their candidate did, right?
I think we should have that in sports.
So after each game, Michael
not a coach,
Irvin...
Just someone coming up representing the team, be like, hey, I know we lost fourth quarter, but let's look at the fact that we were in the game.
Yep.
We're big-time underdogs.
So after a Cowboys lost, Michael Irvin could go on Fox and scream about how they won with the Fox people. It's a Fox pregame show. Howie Long and those guys, right? And after a loss for the Dolphins, maybe you can pull out old Mercury Morris or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just have your greats go out there and be like, hey.
And tell me how they won, and the referees were obviously one-sided.
You can tell it's a very tough situation.
Yeah.
A lot of things went against us, but you got to look at our heart.
There were
You got to
no
look
flags.
at the substance. We have a plan. We got to stick with the plan. It's a very good plan.
Then there were no flags thrown against them. There were only flags thrown against us. How come they're how come you guys didn't rush the ball? How come they got 15 penalties called against us? And it's the whataboutism. I know. All right. Well, maybe you did watch it. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you watched some baseball last night. Maybe you caught up with your family. Maybe you went to dinner. Maybe you took a nap. Maybe you mowed the lawn. I don't know. But good morning to you. Thanks for being with us on a Wednesday morning. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. It is the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. How you living?
Living good.
You all right?
All right.
You get a little baseball last night? What'd you do?
A little off the grid when it comes to screen last night.
Did you watch like Teletubbies or something?
No, didn't watch.
Game shows? You like any of those game shows that are on? Like, I kind of get into the wall. I'm not gonna lie. Did you ever watch that one?
Is that with all the people on the floor, or
no? That's like
Obviously,
quiz
the floor
with
and the wall are
balls or
different things.
quiz with balls or something, where they have the ball that pushes you in the water if you get the wrong. That's funny to me too. No, the wall.
It's always fun.
Yeah, they're like the pachinko balls come down. They're either red or green if you get the answers right. And,
I always like growing up watching Global Guts as a kid, and
right.
those like game shows where you had to actually do something.
Answer questions. They all do. Manny Machado made a little Padre history last night. The history is interesting that he made. Max Scherzer and Scherzer and DeGrom coming back for the Rangers. Yamamoto was good for the Dodgers. So we'll get into the baseball. Obviously, a lot of football to get into today. Injury stuff. The Tyreek Hill conversation continued. Let me open it up for you today. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here today. Area code 505-246-0610. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We are live on the visual medium on Xfinity Channel 26 across the state of New Mexico, and on our Facebook page, the OD in the AM. Adrian's producing for you there, and on the Twitter, it is _JJ Buck. Did you get what you need in fantasy football? Did you get your transactions that you wanted?
It was an interesting waiver wire week because there wasn't one that you had to have.
Yeah, and
there wasn't a
there
breakout
were needs,
star.
But there were needs.
Not as much.
If you had Puka
If you're in a
Nacua,
giant league, yes.
Yeah.
And so those are the very interesting ones in terms of make or break. If you did league winners, there wasn't any of that. It was how do I get by, and a lot of the is this wide receiver 3 going to be a wide receiver 2 for me? I think the most interesting one is Isaiah Likely. You're chasing that, and that was his ceiling game of the season.
Probably, but it's still better than many tight ends are going to be. Like whatever he's going to be is still better than many tight ends that you might have on your roster. And if you have Jake Ferguson, who got hurt and says he's going to play, but who knows if he's going to play, and you're chasing something, he's a guy that you might want.
He's startable, but if you're in a league with Fab and you had to,
you want him or Tyler Conklin the rest of the way.
The rest of the way, I'm taking Isaiah Likely. But my main target at tight end was actually Colby Parkinson.
So, why I like him a lot is because of the Puka Nacua injury and the underneath stuff that Matthew Stafford's going to have to look at. Yeah, I agree with that.
It was more just cost. If you're just in a regular waiver wire league, Likely, easy number one. But there was a lot of good get players because the upside. I think like Justice Hill in the PPR league all of a sudden could be a thing because teams just don't want to throw the football to Derrick Henry.
Yep. All right, lots to do today. Let's start with the footy, and this isn't going to go away, and I'm not even sure it should go away. The conversation, and some of you are going to say absolutely it should go away. The Tyreek Hill conversation. Where did you end up by the end of the day yesterday? Because you've got the Miami-Dade police wanting the officer who was placed on administrative leave to be placed back on active patrol. You want Tyreek Hill's camp, Drew Rosenhaus and the attorney or the agent and his attorney, and Tyreek Hill wanting the officers to be terminated immediately. Where did you end up by the end of the day when you saw as much of the video that was released and heard as much conversation as you did, and tried to be as real as you could with yourself on this? Where'd you end up on this?
Mine was just back on accountability because I think about these situations, whether it's Scotty Scheffler or Tyreek Hill, and it's easy in that moment to go, man, what are you doing? How can you do that? And I do think about the situations where you're not a celebrity and there's not people on your side. And that's why I would want accountability for those moments where it escalates past what needs to happen for a regular individual that doesn't have the celebrity or doesn't have the backing of people. So I would want accountability for the officers, but I didn't land on everyone needed to be fired.
And we might get there. It's so interesting on the comparison, right? And look, I'm aware of the obvious. Scotty Scheffler did get hauled down to jail. Scotty Scheffler from the Pell camera we saw was yes sir, no sir. Like there was no don't bang on a window like that, bro. Like you mean my ticket, let me go. There was none of that with him, right? He still got pulled out of the car, pushed up, slammed. Pick your words. I mean, and the words matter here. The words really do matter. Slammed down to the ground or put down on the ground, and you're going to tell me it's the same thing. And pounded on his window or knocked on his window. It'll all as you describe it. It tells. It tells people what you're thinking, where you are with it, which is fine, by the way, which is fine. Scotty Scheffler did get pulled out of the car and pushed up against the car window, right? Handcuffed. And again, I remember at the time having this conversation, man, what if it was a golfer of color? What if it was Harold Varner, who doesn't play on the PGA? But what if it was, right, a golfer of color? What would they have done to him? Scheffler did get hauled downtown, put in a jumpsuit, did get mugshotted, did get put in a cell, right?
Yes, you did.
And I don't know whatever happened to those officers, and Scheffler kind of said, you know what, I'm good. I'm not pressing charges. I'm not going after him, and kind of dropped the whole thing. It was a misunderstanding and moved on. Well, and I'm not telling you there's a right way or wrong way. I'm telling you that was his way. Tyreek is like, man, I want him fired. I was listening to a lot of the Talking Head shows yesterday, and said, man, if that's me, I'm getting paid. Those guys are paying me. If I'm Calais Campbell, they're paying me. If I'm Jonnu Smith, like what do Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell have as a suit to go get paid? What don't I understand? How were they mistreated? If you or I walked up on a scene, an active police scene, and that was an active police scene, correct? Would we be told to walk away?
Well, you can film it.
100% you can.
Now they didn't start filming it, and then Calais Campbell was handcuffed.
Okay, but was he handcuffed? And why was
Calais
he
Campbell
was he handcuffed because he didn't go away, or why was he
Probably
handcuffed?
because he was talking and trying to be like, why
Didn't obey
you
the
want Tyreek Hill? What's going on?
didn't obey the orders of the officers, and that's where Scotty Scheffler did, and he still got handcuffed, put up against the car, jumpsuited, mugshotted, and thrown in a cell. I'm going to tell you, I ended up where I was yesterday morning when we talked about this, had this conversation initially. I believe that the police officers escalated instead of de-escalated a situation that was uncomfortable, and I believe Tyreek provoked it. And there's got to be some culpability. Now, it didn't provoke it to the point where he deserved what he got. Yeah, I don't believe he deserved to be face first on the pavement. I don't believe he deserved to be yanked out of the car, although he should have come out of the car. He should have had his window down when at a traffic stop. What do you do at a traffic stop? Your window down. When the officer said keep your window down and it's a tinted window, I believe he should have done that. Now, again, does that warrant what they did, how he was treated? I don't believe so. But I believe there's culpability. I still do. After watching the whole thing and this whole Tyreek didn't do anything. No, Tyreek did do something. Did he do enough to warrant getting thrown on the ground, getting arm wrapped around his neck while he was seated on the curb? No, I don't believe that. I think the officers were excessive. But this whole Tyreek didn't do anything. I mean, are we only watching part of this? Are we only watching what we want to see? Are we only like? And I'm not telling you anything that anybody says that this doesn't happen to black men in America all the time. I don't disagree with that. And would this have happened to a white player? I probably not, maybe not. Okay, and it happened to Tyreek and he's black, and I understand that. So I'm not discounting any of that. But I just, where did I land after listening to everything and watching, everything that was released? I landed on the fact that there's culpability on both sides, that Tyreek could have handled it a lot better and it wouldn't have escalated. Now, I also landed it shouldn't have escalated. The officer's job in that situation is to de-escalate, and the officer escalated. So that's where I landed. I'm curious where you are after watching it. We can have this conversation. If you're sick of it, we don't have to. But it's still there, and obviously it's going to be a big talking point. We're going to get through the McCaffrey injury. We'll get you updates on that. Quarterback play over the weekend. How did that all play out? Auburn quarterback told reporters that that he's been offered money and betting stuff, crazy stuff. That's where the Lobos are going this week. And I got a Mountain West story on the scheduling agreement with the Pac-12/2-Pac that has come and gone, and what is next according to the commissioner, and what could be next. We got. I think that there's a lot of significance into the conversation, so we're going to do that as well. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. 505-246-06. 505-246-0610. Sorry. Your emails come in, jeff@sportsanimалabq.com. Hey, my friends at On the Spot Automotive Detailing are ready to help you. They're ready to help you take care of that vehicle that you're probably sitting in right now that is dirty, filthy, smelly. They're ready to take care of that. You got family coming to town, whether it's for Balloon Fiesta, maybe they're already here for State Fair. You're driving the kids everywhere. You're spending a lot of time in your vehicle. Make it look good. Make it feel good. Make it smell good. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will come to you at your convenience. Jeff, I don't have time. I hear that all the time. You don't need time. You got a couple hours you're going to be in the office. They will come out and spend that time in the parking lot and detail your vehicle. When they're done, it looks and feels and smells like the day you took it off the lot. That's what the auto dealers do, is they get the cars detailed. this is the best there is. That's why they were voted best in the city. On the Spot Automotive Detailing will do that for you. And it's more than just detailing. They have ceramic coating, paint protection film that can help maintain your car and keep it looking new. There'll be no more water stains, no more dirt and mud stains. And their protective layering helps prevent UV oxidation damage from this intense New Mexico sun. They also offer a lifetime warranty. Best in the city for a big reason. Find out why. Look at them online at otsdetailing.com. You can book and buy at otsdetailing.com or just give them a call at 505-859-2859. That's area code 505-859-2859.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen here. Join me and my...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
You make my heart better. Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burtia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
Hi, I'm Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations.
Go United!
ClarksPets.com.
If you're drunk, blasted,
intoxicated,
ripped, plastered, tanked, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
JJ Buck. 505-246-0610 is how to get here. 888-922-0610. Emails Jeff at sports@mlabq.com. JJ sports@mlabq.com. Text lines. Your boy Trump got a massive beatdown last night, Jeffrey. That coupled with your Aggies got to be a rough one now, eh? Boy, there's a lot of mine
stinging over
from a dude who thinks he knows me pretty well. Yeah. All right. This one says Scotty was dragging a police officer with his car. And yes, he was unaware, according to him, but a police officer was dragging on Scotty's car, which is why they arrested him. All right. And they took him down and they pulled him out of the car. They put him up against, I mean, you can say slammed him, put him, whatever. I'm not saying one was right, one was wrong, one was wrong, one was right. I'm giving you, am I wrong? Did I give you facts? But the way he was with the police, I mean, I don't know. Tyreek went 60 and a 40 and then was, I don't know, pick your word, uncordial, aggressive, whatever. I'm not telling you either one of them should have been handcuffed and put up the way they were handled. This one, I'm trying to figure out which is more surprising. Ray Gun is now ranked number 1 in the world in breakdancing, or a candidate for president seriously told the world that immigrants are eating people's pets. Didn't have either one of those on my bingo card. It's from Travis. And you need a new bingo card, Travis. I know what to tell you. And I'm promising you people are going to tell, well, I'm not going there. Never mind. All right. 505-246-0610. What happened yesterday as you get ready for your new week of NFL football? Christian McCaffrey. So, JJ, he, I guess he would have played if, this is according to Kyle Shanahan, he said yesterday that the reason Christian McCaffrey sat out the game against the Jets because it was the first week of the regular season. Shanahan said that he was dealing with a little too much to get on the field and thought that it was going to be smart to keep him out, that he's dealing with an Achilles tendonitis that could be a bigger issue at some time than others. Okay.
Jordan Mason season.
Everybody on Jordan Mason, huh?
Plug and play. Immediately got the same workload, looked good in the offense. I think the passing game is going to be better moving forward too with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Kittle, Juan Jennings, and this is what you should do.
And
take a cautious approach to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, and he's got a calf injury with the Achilles, right?
It's one or the other. I think it's probably the Achilles the whole time.
Okay.
But this is very Kevin Durant-ish when we talk about a situation like this. Starts with the calf, but then it works its way down.
Well, then that's a little scary, the way the Kevin Durant thing ended up. Isn't it?
Yes. And this is why they're being very cautious.
All right. On the 49ers, by the way, 200 yards from Brock Purdy. Two guys under $1 million a year. So McCaffrey's game check was like $940 million, $940,000. And I think Jordan Mason, the guy who replaced him and ran for a touchdown, 100 and whatever yards, like his game check was, or his season total is almost as much, right about the same number as McCaffrey's game check. So they got a quarterback under $1 million. So 200 yards from Mr. Irrelevant, who's under $1 million. You got, 120 something yards, 127 yards from Jordan Mason. 50-yard receiving game from a 7th-round pick in Juwan Jennings. An interception from an undrafted guy, Demetrius Flanagan Fowles. So, JJ, you have it on here. OptaStats, that's another one of those groups that just digs deep. Niners are the only team in the history of the National Football League, in the Super Bowl era anyway, so that's in the last 59 years, to get that kind of production from 4 players who were drafted 200th or later or not drafted overall. it's them, right? I mean, the Rams are finding stuff late in the draft. The Seahawks built their Legion of Boom mid rounds 3, 4, 5, 6, right? These guys, like day 3 of the draft, when you're out playing golf and you're done, because it only matters is day 1 because dudes in really cool suits and hugging the commissioner. They're building their roster on Saturday afternoon in rounds 5, 6, 7.
That's how you win. The majority of the NFL are not first-round players.
That's correct.
Like, there's a reason that there is a frenzy right after the draft when it comes to signing undrafted free agents. Teams are trying to find that diamond in the rough, get these guys on their roster, because that's where teams are made. And we look at the 49ers, it's scouting and scheme. They have a ridiculously good foundation. Brock Purdy is so much more than just the last pick in the draft. But then you look at the other players that they get, from Juwan Jennings to Jordan Mason, who stepped right in, undrafted guy, and put up some of the best numbers of the weekend.
But they've always done it that way, right? I mean, I go back to the Elijah Mitchells and where Raheem Mostert come from, Jeffrey Wilson, all these guys that they've always just plugged into that, right? Whatever.
And that goes straight to scheme too. Like there's something when it comes, if your last name is Shanahan, you can figure out how to run the football in the NFL.
Yeah. All right, when we get back, I want to talk about quarterback play. And was it rust? Was it lack of preparation because they're not playing in preseason? Was it guys coming off injuries? The quarterback play was not great this week. And Troy Aikman said there was some really bad play, and he's right. And there was some good play. I mean, Baker Mayfield was good. There were some guys who went out there and played well. I thought Josh Allen played well. But why was it? Is it too much pressure? Is it rust? I want to get into quarterback play. And what are your thoughts? We're open still. If you want to get in at 505-246-0610 on whatever. I don't care. If you want to get in on the debate last night, you can. Whoever you think my guy is or my team is, you want to take your shots at me, I'm here for you. It's the opening drive at 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange, the latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, rip, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
I apologize. 13-30 for Bryce Young. Look, I don't know. You could put him behind a great line. I don't know how good he's going to be. And I don't know how long they're going to go. JJ, I mean, what is it? Andy Dalton's behind him? And they're not going to go to Andy Dalton. He gets this year, right? Unless he gets hurt. And
it looks like that. It might even be sooner than that you pull the trigger, because you're just going to have a lost franchise, a lost locker room where you just...
So where do you go? Pull the trigger and go to Andy Dalton?
Yeah,
you go get Russell Wilson?
At that point in time, you are just going to be looking at a team
next year's draft.
You're going to be looking at the upcoming draft, and just, man, you just got guys that do at some point in time want to compete. And if you have performances like this for 10, 12 weeks, that team's going to be cashed out. But the writing's on the wall. Like, it's not going to get better after that for Bryce Young.
If this continues, and it's an if on Bryce Young, biggest bust? I mean, like Jamarcus Russell, Achilles Smith. Was Jamarcus Russell number 1, right, overall? Jamarcus Russell is a great player. Deal with it. Lane Kiffin stood his ground and got fired on that. By the way, if we decided Lane Kiffin was right, Al Davis was not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Biggest bust? I mean, one of them? Because considering how much they gave up to move up to number 1 to get that pick, and considering who went number 2 and what he looks like right now?
Yeah, that to me also factors into it.
Yes.
That you missed on
CJ
players
Stroud.
that... I don't think that C.J. Stroud does not win 10 games with the Carolina Panthers and take them to the playoffs, but he does not look like this. Like, you have a legitimate foundation. You have a legitimate future. C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson. But yet you went Bryce Young.
Yeah. All right, Kirk Cousins, 155 yards, 16 for 26. He had a touchdown, 2 interceptions, sacked twice. Fumbled, 2 other hits by T.J. Watt. Falcons ran 1 play with Cousins under center, 26 in the pistol, 22 in the shotgun. That's according to ESPN stats. Never designed to run out of the shotgun, which is fine. I don't need him designed to run. Raheem Morris is
no, it's not him. It's the
no. There's no handing it to Bijan. Yeah. Okay,
which is an extreme tell that they're going to have to change.
I agree with that. Raheem Morris is their coach. Said that Kirk Cousins had some rust because of the long layoff. That he's got no concerns about the physical conditions. Quote, I feel like Kirk is healthy. He's been healthy since he's been here. With Kirk being here, we've been doing the same thing since he's been here, and that's how we planned on playing, and we played the way throughout. End quote. Boy, that sounds like something on a debate stage. What the hell did he just say?
I know this is when I was looking at, and Kirk looks so bad. Looked like a statue. But this is one of the quarterback situations from the weekend I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt to, because we need to see
more
what is the realistic when you get a few weeks into the season.
Yeah.
How do these guys react coming off an Achilles tear, because we don't see this.
So let me read this again to you, because I mean, honestly, I know it's election season, but does this not sound like a candidate? I feel like Kirk is healthy. He's been healthy since he's been here. You know, with Kirk being here, we've been doing the same thing since he's been here. And that's how we planned on playing, and we played that way throughout.
None of that made sense.
It doesn't mean anything. He didn't say anything.
You could just leave it at, hey, he was rusty. You always have things in the back of your mind, but we trust Kirk in this offense to take off. But he was a statue, man. Like, the one thing with Aaron Rodgers, I saw him at least run out of the pocket.
They moved a little bit.
Move a little bit. Like, there's actually have some confidence in
I agree with you, man. I'd be concerned, and Michael Penix is there, and one thing I know that dude can do is move. Daniel Jones, Giants, pick 6, 22 of 42, booed off the field. Jonathan Grenard of the Vikings said that the Vikings defense was actually feeling sympathy for the opposing quarterback. Quote, we kind of started to feel a little bad for him, as we're still just completely just taking away everything he wants to do. Hey, it's good to be on the other side of it, and it's our job to not be on that side of it. Damn, dude.
Feel bad for you, man. We just got you locked up.
I had to bury you again, but I'm sorry, man. I feel bad for you, but that's my job. Tell the dudes in front of you to protect you. Okay, some of this is on the offensive line, too. But 22 of 42. I mean, what's the front, like, what Hard Knocks front office? What are they saying now?
Another player coming off an injury, but Daniel Jones looks so reluctant to throw the football downfield.
Yeah.
Never wants to throw it.
Underneath to Robinson all day. I mean, you went out and got him a first-round pick to go downfield in Neighbors, right? In that kind of, that's why you didn't take a quarterback at number 9. That's why you took a receiver to give Daniel Jones an option to go and hurt somebody a little bit, and you didn't use him.
They had Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix.
All sitting on the board.
And you went Malik Neighbors, feeling that he's...
Which is fine.
Wide receiver 1, but it's not going to matter if you can't throw him the football.
Yeah. I mean, it's having a beautiful car that you can't drive. That's great. It's going out and spending $3.5 million on a Babe Ruth jersey. What are you going to do with it? Oh, look, I can look at it. It's pretty. But what are you doing with it? Malik Neighbors was targeted 7 times. 5 receptions for 66 yards. I'm going to guess they got to get him the ball. I don't know if they can run the ball. They went out, they got rid of Saquon. They went out and got Devin Singletary. Okay. All right. That's another problem. That's another problem. When we get back, we'll talk about another one. I mean, holy smokes. Because there are a few. There's a few sitting around in quarterback rooms around the league, and they're just going, okay, what are we going to do about this? 8 o'clock, we're going to get into this Mountain West Conference thing. And what the commissioner had to say about the scheduling agreement that is expiring and not been renewed with the 2-pack and what it means, what it could mean, what are some of the scenarios on the board. We'll do that at 8 o'clock.
You can be your own quarterback with Underdog Fantasy. You can make the decisions higher or lower on your favorite players or players in general with football this entire weekend. Now's a great time to get involved with Underdog Fantasy. Making picks on Underdog is straightforward, and signing up is even easier. Just head over to Underdog's simple-to-use mobile app or UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with the promo code JJBuck, and Underdog will give you a free pick to use on your first cash pick'em entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. So what's a pick'em entry? You start with 2 players from 2 different teams, go higher or lower on their projected stats for that specific game, and build from there. It is so much fun. It's the added entertainment you're looking for. How can you add entertainment? You can always add entertainment with Underdog Fantasy. And it's a good time to get in right now. You have baseball action all day. Really interesting WNBA game tonight with the Aces and Fever. You can get used to it and then go all in with football this weekend. That's Underdog Fantasy. Promo code JJBuck to claim your new customer special of a free pick and your deposit offer. It's easy and fast, and you can get started and play right now. Must be 18 or over and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
I might not be in the cage as much anymore. Just like riding a bicycle, I can pick up the fight from where I left off. I'm not some slick-haired outsider posing with borrowed gloves. I grew up here. New Mexico is in my blood. I'm a New Mexican fighting for other New Mexicans. I'm Adam Oki. I'll be your champion in the courtroom.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Got shots? Got shots? Got shots?
During Got Shots, participating providers open their doors for any child who presents for immunizations, regardless of whether they are a patient or whether they have insurance.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
Fred, weekdays from 4 till 7 on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Some of it will get better. Some of it, I'm not sure you're as convinced. Quarterback play over the weekend. I mean, you got to believe that Joe Burrow is going to be better. You think Kirk Cousins will be better. I think Trevor Lawrence will be better. I'm not sure about Will Levis. I'm certainly not sure about Bryce Young, Daniel Jones, right? You're looking around and going, about Will Levis. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Titans were on the verge of winning their opener in Chicago and helping me with my 3-for-all bet. They blew a 3-score lead. Their quarterback, second-year quarterback, Will Levis, imploded. In the fourth quarter, he threw a stupid, careless, sloppy, game-losing pick six to the Bears, Tyreek Stevenson. How did his coach respond? Here's when you know your coach has your back or not. Brian Callahan, Monday. If we just punted on 1st and 10 every time, we might have won the game. Nothing like confidence in your offense. If we just punted every time we got on 1st down, we'd have won. Will Levis, I thought, was pretty good in the first half. I watched Will Levis. I'm thinking, all right, maybe they got something. I thought the Titans were the better team. And then Will Levis imploded. 19 of 32 for $127. He threw the touchdown pass and 2 interceptions. One was a pick six. JJ, does he get better?
Who?
Will Levis. Because his coach said if we'd have just punted on 1st and 10 every time, we'd have been fine and won the game.
That was such a shot early in the season from the head coach. First year, head coach Brian Callahan.
I'm here. Yeah. Yeah.
Will Levis will get better.
I think so, too. So as you go down the list, you say guys who were all right. I mean, look, Jacoby Brissett won a game. Tua's going to get better. Rodgers will get better. Burrow will get better. Deshaun Watson, I don't know that he will. Justin Fields?
No.
So that's who they are.
That's who.
Okay.
At this point in time, you know what you're getting out of Justin Fields.
All right. Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
I think he'll get better too. Right? And I thought he played a really good first. What happened to them? That was a game, and there were 3 games like that. The Titans and Bears was one of them. The Jaguars was one of them, where a team I thought in the first half looked so good, and then got shut down. Trevor Lawrence 12 of 21. First of all, did they really only run 47 plays? So they didn't have the ball at all. 47 plays. That's crazy to me. But he'll get better.
It's missed opportunities. And you have the ball inside the 5-yard line. Travis Etienne fumbled. And then the very next play was an 80-yard touchdown to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. And
that's how you close the game in the second half.
Yeah. But you got to come back and you got to be able to close it.
Yeah, they fumbled the football at the 5-yard line.
Yeah. That
was the moment. Because you're not going to have 8 great drives in the first half and immediately come out with 8 great drives in the second half.
Yeah. Kyler Murray, 21 of 31, 162 yards. They were up 17-10 was Arizona in Buffalo at halftime. They got outscored 24-11 in the second half by Buffalo. Josh Allen came back. Look, Josh Allen's numbers aren't great. He only threw for 232 yards. He ran for 39, 2 touchdowns. Kyler Murray will be better, I believe. I thought Kyler Murray at times looked really good. He's going to be better?
Yeah, that's defense.
Okay. I'm just going down the quarterbacks who were a little. All right. Let me go the other side. Derek Carr will look like what the rest of the season? Because he's not going. And by the way, his numbers, he only threw for 200 yards. He was only 19 of 23 for 200 yards because they didn't have to. I don't know if they're good or not. Like, honestly, I believe Carolina's that bad. I don't know if the Saints are very good or not. I just believe that they beat the hell out of a bad team.
It is, they beat the heck out of the Carolina Panthers. And Derek Carr kind of become the placeholder for middle of the road quarterback play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You turn the football over you like that, hit some big plays against that defense. But you're talking about quarterback play.
Yeah.
And, what, I think a lot of it kind of was the fantasy aspect of it too this weekend. Just, so many people play it and they see the quarterback scores there. But you mentioned, Josh Allen, that's a great game. 232, 2 touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, from a fantasy perspective, he's got you the 2 rushing touchdowns.
No, that's a great game from quarterback.
Sure.
That was the QB 10 in terms of total yards.
Sure. Yeah.
This weekend.
Sam Darnold. Now, again, was that him just up against a bad team? Sam Darnold looked in control. Sam Darnold looked like everything Kyle Shanahan and Kevin O'Connell seem to believe this guy is, because he keeps getting opportunities, right? Great in practice, great in the room. And you and I are going, okay, but I've watched Sam Darnold play quarterback in the NFL. Sam Darnold looked like a damn good NFL quarterback on Sunday. 1 week sample
size. If you're good
yeah.
in a decent offense, like Derek Carr, like Sam Darnold, then you should look like that. Like we're not going to have the same feeling about Sam Darnold on Monday morning.
Next week.
Who they get the 49ers this week.
Okay. All right. Who know him pretty well, by the way. But yeah, he's got Justin Jefferson. He had Jordan Addison. He does, and he's got a decent running game. Yeah, he looked good. Give me a 3 to 4 week sample size on most of these guys, and we'll have an answer.
I think the only one where everyone is just out is Bryce Young.
Yeah, I think that's right. Will Baker look like this all year? Like, are you ready to buy into Baker's?
If you haven't bought in the Baker,
yeah. As a
You've missed the boat.
As a starting NFL quarterback, or as a top 10, top 8 NFL quarterback?
Like Baker Mayfield wins games.
Yeah.
Won playoff games.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing left to buy into.
24 for 30, 289 yards and 4 touchdowns. Ran for 21 yards. Oh, and by the way, dudes on that team seem to really be behind Baker. And they've been in the playoffs. I think they got like one of the longest playoff streaks. It might be the long after the Niners in the NFC. 505-246-0610. All right, when we come back, Mountain West Commissioner Gloria Nevadas has talked a little bit about the scheduling agreement with the two-pack, Washington State and Oregon State. It won't go on, or at least as of now, for next year. Why it wasn't extended, and some of the options now, because Oregon State and Washington State are running out of time. What may happen with them and how that affects the Mountain West Conference and specifically the University of New Mexico. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. Glad you're with us on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
It's Dwight Goodman!
Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Drunk driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Schedule. Lobos will host Washington State later this year. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. J.J., this evidently is going to be a one-year thing, at least as of now, this scheduling agreement, the scheduling partnership between the Mountain West and the two-pack, or they call it the Pac-12 still, Oregon State and Washington State. The deadline was September 1st to come to an agreement on next year's scheduling agreement. It's an agreement that the Mountain West gets paid for, about $14 million. And the deadline came and went, and as of now, they will not continue to do that. Now, JJ, I don't know if do you like this or do you not like having Washington State, Oregon State? Teams are only playing in the league. There's 12 teams. That means there's 11 others. You're only playing 7 league games this year. Do you like that? I don't like that. And I know the football coaches as a group, there might be one or two, but as a group, they don't.
I don't like that model, but this had to be done.
No, I agree. I agree.
For 1 year to see if you could build something, if you could build a partnership where their resources, what they have left, do you merge it with the Mountain West Conference and are you able to build something going forward? So this is a chance the Mountain West had to take, but when there's no ground on that, then you say, okay, thank you, we're going back to our regularly scheduled program.
And then we'll see what happens. So Gloria Nevarez, the commissioner, said this weekend, quote, I think we have to move on. The September 1 date was picked because this is the outer edge of the time when we can be making decisions about next year's football schedule. There's a lot that goes into it. Our schools need certainty so they can plan their non-conference schedules. That was part of her quote. Now, she said there's been a lot of talk about some schools leaving the Mountain West, what people refer to as the top of the Mountain West, peeling off and forming a Pac-8 because Washington State, Oregon State have 2 years, this being the first, to get their conference up to 8 teams to keep their conference status, and they've got all that money that goes with it. And so she was asked about the potential of Mountain West schools leaving to form a Pac-8. Quote, if there are opportunities that come our way, we're going to be ready to take advantage of them. But it's probably a better question for other programs, is what she said, end quote. So Mark Ziegler in the San Diego Union Tribune and did a really good breakdown of this. And he talked about, like, so you're sitting there, you hear that as a Lobo fan, you're like, oh, no. Oh, man, okay. Well, stand by. Because the poaching penalties, and there's fine print in here, or this was in this whole scheduling agreement. Should Oregon State and Washington State, the two-pack, invite any of the current members of the Pac into the Pac-12? JJ, have you seen the numbers on this, what it costs?
They're pretty astronomical.
All right, so if the two-pack takes a Mountain West team, it's $10 million poaching penalty for the first school. $20.5 million for 2 schools, $31.5 million for 3 schools, $43 million for 4 schools, and so on. Even finer print, those penalties extend for 2 years after the agreement ends in 2027. On top of that, JJ, would be the exit fees that the schools have to pay. So financially, it makes no sense. And Gloria said, this is a quote from her, that was a very important piece for us. At that point, there was so much unknown. So we just tried to protect ourselves against what we knew could potentially break us apart. End quote. So really good move on her part and whomever was part of putting this all together. The cheaper option for Washington State and Oregon State, JJ, is if 9 Mountain West schools vote to dissolve the Mountain West and do a reverse merger with the Pac-12. Could they do that? Gloria said, quote, today, no. I talk with all of our schools regularly, and I don't think there's a desire to dissolve the league. how would that look? Right, the reverse merger. So instead of Oregon State and Washington State having everybody go to them, they could convince the Mountain West to dissolve. And what Ziegler says, take everyone but the bottom feeders. So it would require 9 votes. And all 9 would have to have guarantees of joining this new league. And what he says is the translation is who would be left out. San Jose State, Utah State, Nevada, and Hawaii would be fighting for the final spot. So in that scenario, New Mexico would be protected. But, JJ, I still get queasy about it. Right? What are Washington State and Oregon State holding out for? They're holding out for the Big 12. The Big 12, there's a source that said recently they were given a hard no. There's no reason to invite these 2 schools to the Big 12. It's just another mouth to feed. I think what they're really hoping for now is ACC chaos, don't you think? I mean, honestly.
With Florida State and Clemson?
Yeah, Florida State and Clemson succeed in their legal challenges to get out of that league. Right? And it seems hard because there's an ironclad grant of rights. Then does it split? Does the ACC come west looking for teams to join Stanford, Cal, and SMU? And Oregon State and Washington State figure that they would be in there maybe with Boise State and San Diego State. But there's no guarantee the ACC is going to implode, and the clock's ticking for these 2 teams to figure something out. There's the Pac-8 possibility that they could add 6 group of 5 schools to reach the 8 under the Pac-12 banner. And then they would leave room for like disgruntled members. So Cal and Stanford could come back if they wanted to or whatever. So that would be probably, according to Ziegler and the story, San Diego State, Boise State, UNLV, Colorado State, Air Force, and Fresno State. If they were just going to peel what they call the top of the Mountain West. So what is that? New Mexico and Wyoming are the middle? Is that it? No, honestly. If there's the top of the bottom feeders, then there's New Mexico and Wyoming like in the middle.
In this scenario, yeah. It's being painted.
They can go independent, like BYU did. And then there's the Mountain West option, which gives them a better shot at the CFP because it constitutes a league, but it would also be the admission that they're no longer a power conference. So where are you going with this? And it's really, really interesting. Your San Diego State, in this story, J.D. Wicker, the athletic director at San Diego State, basically says that they were offered to join the Big 12. He said the Big 12 wanted us to come in at basically a half share, basically half the money that everybody else gets, with no opportunity to make any money in the new TV deal that they just started. Why would we do that? He said. We would have been sitting at the bottom of the league looking up with no opportunity to do anything. We got a great opportunity in the Mountain West to make the college football playoff. We've already shown we can play in the national title game in men's basketball. We're 1 win away from the softball World Series. So, yeah, financially it's got to work. So basically, I didn't know that. Did you? That's him saying we were invited to the Big 12, but to take a half a share?
And you have to say no to that.
Of course you do. You can't compete.
There's no benefit to being in that conference with no way of earning your fair share of the revenue involved in it.
And getting beat.
And getting beat, hurting your programs, top to bottom, and you're not just going to make that up going, hey, we're really good at basketball, but your basketball team still needs resources to continue to develop and push and build collectives, all those things that go involved, because your collectives will start losing interest when you're not winning.
I think that's 100% right. So this is where I found this whole, what was said over the weekend, really interesting. Remember when I came back from league meetings and I was telling you about there's this model being tossed around with a minimum, a floor budget commitment to stay in the league, and I talked to some people, and it isn't just as simple as a bottom line budget. There's going to be a checklist of you have to do X number of things. There'll be, let's just say 10 things that you've got to do, and you've got to comply with 7 to start, and there's a goal to get you in compliance with everything. Whether it's facilities, budget-wise, NIL, whatever it is. The commissioner evidently has been working on a change to the conference revenue distribution system. This would appease what they call the upper half with this new media deal that they're going to have in 26, 27. So, JJ, the idea here is unequal. distribution for NCAA basketball tournament units, CFP, and bowl appearance money, which would incentivize programs to spend more with a greater return on their investment. So she said they've been modeling ways to create minimum budget levels. This is what I've been telling you about. To elevate bottom levels of the conference with the threat of expulsion if you don't meet these minimum standards. And I'm going to tell you, I kind of like that. And I know there's some people are going to go, well, how are we supposed to compete? Well, but you have to. And that's where it comes down to, are you making it? You got to make a decision. And the state's got to make a decision in this case. And it's like New Mexico State has asked for money to fund women's sports, right? JJ, I think that appeases, and hell, New Mexico should benefit from that if they start making NCAA tournament runs. They get more money from the units that they generate for the league, right? Boise State's going to get more money from the big bowls if they get into big bowls, or San Diego State, or New Mexico if that happens to be. So how does Washington State and how does Oregon State fit into this? It's look, they got to figure it out, and I think their last resort is going to be Mountain West, and they're
realizing that there are a lot of schools that were lucky to be in power leagues for a long time.
Yep.
And you're able to build up your facilities,
yep,
build up your base, but then you realize that you take that away, you're not it. Like Corvallis and Pullman are not power conferences.
Corvallis is a population of 61,000 people. Pullman is 34,000. To your point.
Those are Mountain West towns.
Now.
And Mountain West towns have bigger cities than that.
Now, Corvallis is in the Portland market, and Pullman is in the Spokane market, if that means anything to you. Television market. They both have really big alumni. Like, dude, you run into Washington State alum all the time. Like, you may not even know it. Well, there's Washington State alumni everywhere. Oregon State has got a good reputation, too. Like, they
have alumni, but that doesn't get you in a bigger conference.
No, you're right. San Diego State's got huge alumni. I mean, 34,000 undergrads every year. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. But, I mean, the Portland market's probably saturated with Oregon, right?
And then the Spokane market, if you're a college sports fan.
Basketball?
Probably got the Zags on your radar.
Yeah. I mean, there's more, like, in that market is Gonzaga, is Washington State, is Eastern Washington, has a lot of success at their level. Yeah. I got another tentacle to this story. And when we come back, Oregon State's athletic director, who's a guy that's been in this league, is unapologetic about how he feels when it comes to this conference chaos. What Scott Barnes had to say, and what he feels about hoping for chaos in the ACC. But you can get in on this, because I think I laid out the scenarios for you that's how it's going to be. It's going to be one of those, 5 things? What are you hoping for? What do you think is going to happen? Because I think it's important. Where does New Mexico land because when the next TV deals come up, something's going to happen. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
This report is sponsored by Audible.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep. All your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as Red and Green.
Metric. As optimistic of a Lobo fan as you want to be, JJ, I'm trying to put this as sensitively as I can, but I'm also trying to be as objective as I can. Give me a metric where you can tell me New Mexico is near the top of the conference when it comes to football, with football involved. I mean, there isn't one, right? It's based on performance, facility. Like, with all due respect, it's not. Now, will it get there? Can it get there? Is that what Bronco was brought in to do? Yeah, and I hope it does. But right now, the top of the league in football is really 3 teams, right? And one of them is really down. It's Boise State, it's Fresno State, and San Diego State. And San Diego State's down right now. Colorado State is considered in there because, A, their commitment to facility, and B, their market. And Air Force, I believe, is considered because of their national brand and their consistency. Right? So with that, and UNLV is because of their market, their facility, and their recent success. Is that the top of the perception of the top of the league? Those were the teams that are mentioned in that story as being the 6 teams that would go. It'd be Boise State, Fresno State, San Diego State, Colorado State, Air Force, and UNLV, right?
Yes.
And then when they say, quote, unquote, the bottom of the league, well, hell, Utah State's had decent success in football. It was Utah State, Hawaii, San Jose State, and Nevada, I believe, is what's mentioned. And then there's New Mexico and Wyoming just going, hey, guys, what about, right? What about, and I think, New Mexico because of basketball and their market and all their other sports. But yeah, I mean, is there, if it's the latter, he says, is there a little more attractiveness in New Mexico? Yeah, there is, if it's a collective and if it's market. There's also this whole, and it depends with whom you speak. Oh, the elevation schools. Why do we have to go to elevation? Dude, eat it. Like, well, you have no problem going to Utah and Colorado. What do you have a problem going to Albuquerque and Colorado State? You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Boise's at elevation too, by the way. So, yeah. All right, then there's this. And this was interesting to me. And I got to find it again. There's a conversation about blowing up the ACC and will the ACC survive? And Scott Barnes is the athletic director at Oregon State. He used to be at Utah State. We had him at the game years ago. And he uses a great word. He says he's unapologetic about the schadenfreude when it comes to the conference chaos. He was talking to the San Jose Mercury News, John Wilner. And this is a quote from Scott Barnes. You're damn right I'm rooting for chaos in the ACC. It was a quote. He told Wilner in that right now college football and college athletics is an eat-what-you-can-kill environment. So he was asked specifically if he's rooting for conference turmoil, and Barnes didn't mention the ACC, but he said, yeah, right now, because the most opportunities we'll have is there if there's a crack that's open and we're well positioned, and we will be. The things we can control, I love how we've executed. We're going to keep pounding pavement. We're going to be aggressive. We're not the little engine that could, even though there's been a mentality in our history. That's not who we are. Look at the metrics from TV viewerships to historical success and current success. Those are all the reasons that we're a Power 5 member. And I say that intentionally. We have 5 Power 5 conferences, and we're one of them. There aren't 4. We need to be ready to pounce. Disruption, chaos, whatever you want to call it, will take place again. There's no question. It's just how soon, end quote. JJ, to your point, Oregon State believes that they are, and Scott Barnes is very, very adamant. There are 5 power conferences, and the 2 of us are one of them.
You've been in one. Doesn't make you one.
They still hold that money, and they still hold that name. 505-246-0610. Dan, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hello, Dan.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
How are you?
Well, I just, just for a minute, I remember when I was a kid and, I lost my old man when I was about 11 years old, and he came back pretty broken up from the service and still, had 5 kids and lasted for a while. He passed at like 41. And then when the towers came down, I remember feeling so bad for all those kids that lost their parents. And now their parents with kids. And I just want to remind everybody to take a little bit of time.
No doubt.
And remember what we've lost and who we are as a country. We got to take care of each other, love each other, and learn how to get along. Never forget what happened on 9/11. It's important that we stick it in our craw and never forget. Have a great day.
23 years ago today, we were attacked. 23 years ago today. How different are you from that day? How different is your life? Immensely. And it is amazing, JJ, to think a generation has passed, right? A whole generation. You were a kid, you're a dad now. What were you 23 years ago today? And look at you now. And I think he's right. It's incumbent upon us to let our kids know what that day meant, what happened that day. I've been at the 9/11 site, the memorial with Addie, and try to instill on her what that day meant. Watch the videos, news clippings, taking her to the site. I think it's incumbent on every one of us, and Dan, I appreciate that. Because on 9/11, it's hard not to look at the calendar, right? And think of it every single year. And here we are 23 years later. But I don't know if you've had, is Austin too young to have that conversation with? Have you had that yet? About what it meant, what it was, he might be too young. Yeah. I think it's incumbent upon all of us as parents. I mean, you were a kid, right? I was in middle school. Yeah, that's a kid. I was working for the Scorpions back then. And I've told this story probably every year on 9/11. But, we watched it, the alarm went off, and I was listening to the radio, and it's like, whoa, what the hell? Turned on the TV, watched the second tower get hit live. And you're like, holy bleep, we're under attack. And I went to the office. It was the Scorpions office over there on McLeod and San Mateo, little chiropractic building. We all sat in one office and stared at one TV all day long with our mouths agape. Didn't know what the hell to do. As you start to figure out what's happening, had no idea our lives would change incrementally. Almost every aspect of your life. So yeah, Dan, you're right. And I appreciate that call. Don't ever forget. Never forget. And it's funny. Well, it's not funny. I sat there with as many of you, and we watched a presidential debate, and I hope we never get attacked like that again. I've never seen our country so united as we were after that in my lifetime. And hopefully it doesn't take something like that to start to unite it. And we are more divided now than we've ever been. But watch such a contentious debate, and that's fine. You have differing opinions. I don't have a problem with that. But it's a reminder of where we are. And 23 years ago, we were all united behind being Americans because we were attacked. But yeah, don't ever forget. 23 years ago today. In some respects, it doesn't feel like 23 years ago, and in some respects, it feels like 230 years ago. Because life is so insanely different because of that day. 505-246-0610. You're welcome to get in on that, too. On this day, absolutely you can. If you want to remember 9/11. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
This report brought to you by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NNAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare Pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers. We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop.
I am Michael Azera, midfielder for New Mexico United. Clark's support for the United is an example of their commitment to local partnerships. Clark's understands that paying it forward develops a better team and ultimately better community partner.
When you need pet food and supplies,
Clark's is always the best shot.
Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations. Go United! ClarksPets.com.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
we aren't all born with the same opportunities. but it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
Well, the quarterback play may not have been the best ever, but the ratings sure as hell were. Opening weekend in the NFL was a touchdown, a hit, a victory, whatever you like. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. NFL averaged 21 million viewers per game, JJ. During the league's opening week, it's the most watched week one on record. Nielsen Media and the league said that the per game average and on TV and digital platforms up 12% over last year. 123 million people saw at least part of a game. Highest total for an opening weekend since 2019. The most watched game, Chiefs-Ravens, Thursday night on NBC, 29.2 million average. It was NBC's second largest regular season game since 2006 when it acquired Sunday Night Football's package. Tom Brady's first game, Fox's top analyst, 23.93 million. There's just big numbers for the National Football League. Print that money, baby. No surprise, right?
Football.
What did Mike Bobo tell you one time?
Football is football. There's nothing better than football.
Football
on your TV.
Football
every day of the week.
Yep, football is football, and it's big, and you watch it and you love it and you talk about it, and that's where we are. All right, 505-246-0610. Christian McCaffrey, questionable for this weekend. Day-to-day in his recovery, he's a long shot to play in week 2 against the Vikings. That's the 49ers. Why would you play him? If he ain't healthy, the way they looked, man, that Jordan Mason, I'm good.
You're going to get Deebo Samuel touches out of the backfield. Brian Ayuk's going to come on. George Kittle, you're good.
Yeah.
Be patient. Take your time. It's about what happens in February with the 49ers.
Yeah. I'm good, man. I don't need it. We're all right.
Now, if you took him with the number 1 overall pick, you're a little frustrated if you did not handcuff him in the draft. You had to go chase Jordan Mason. But...
And you didn't get him. You probably didn't get him. I mean, it's just how it is. All right. We had this conversation yesterday about Deshaun Watson and the latest complaint, civil lawsuit filed against the now Browns quarterback, stemming back to when he was the Texans quarterback, another sexual assault case. Remember, he had 25 of them. He settled 24 of them. The NFL said that they are reviewing it. Quote, "We are reviewing a complaint. We will look into the matter and under the personal conduct policy, not looking at commissioner's exempt list as there's been no formal charges and the league's review has just begun." End quote. That's from the league. So, JJ, because there's no charges legally, there's no criminal charge against him. This is a civil case that, as of now, there is no looking at putting him on the commissioner's list and having this thing. There's a woman. I'm not going to get into the details again. You can find them again. I got them to you yesterday. Once seems enough right about breakfast time. Relatively graphic details about what this Jane Doe is what she's going by, what she claims happened in her apartment with Deshaun Watson. JJ, I'm going to guess Jameis Winston week 4.
Deshaun Watson looks like that on the football field. It's not out of the question. That team is going to be frustrated, that they feel that they should once again be a playoff team. They didn't look on either side of the football against the Cowboys last Sunday. And this is one where just more noise, but what'd you expect?
Well, I'll tell you what they expected.
I know what, and they were wrong. No one thought he was going to live up to this contract.
They did. That's why they gave it to him.
It was a bad management. It was desperation. Just nothing about this was good on or off the field. for the Cleveland Browns. And two, from the NFL standpoint, they are actually taking a step back and being a lot more, but lenient
in this respect, this time around.
Well, with Rashee Rice, with Deshaun Watson, like they are in wait and see mode now, as opposed to trying to be out in front of everything.
I think Rashee Rice's time will come. Alvin Kamara's waited, right, until the legal process happened, and he got his 4 games. I'm just, what did they expect? They expected a guy to live up to a $230 million guaranteed contract. They thought they were stealing this great top-of-the-line quarterback from a franchise who was done with him because of all this off-field stuff. And they're like, yeah, whatever, we'll get through it, and he'll sit out a year. And we know he's going to get suspended, so give him $230 million. But the first year, his salary will just be $1 million. So when they take 10 out of his 17 game checks, we won't feel that bad. We'll work with him, and that way he'll get all his money. He'll want to come here, and we're going to get a top-of-the-line quarterback, and we're going to the Super Bowl. That's what they thought. That's what they thought. They thought they were getting over on everybody. And you know what's a bitch? Karma. I mean, I don't know. I saw it on a bumper sticker once. I know you did too. Like, at some point, man, there was a dude I knew in college, big eyes, and he says, you get what you give. You know? What comes around goes around. You get what you get. I remember him saying it all the time. And you know what? Some dude who drank a few too many light beers in college, those words have echoed all through life. He's right. You get what you give. And JJ said it yesterday, and you all have said it a bunch of times, and you're not wrong. Maybe dude's just a bad guy. And all these allegations, well, I don't know, Jeff, we never heard it. He never got charged or never got convicted. Yeah, because he settled everything. That's a lot of smoke to have no fire, if that's what you think. But you said it, man. Maybe dude's just a bad dude. And by the way, that top-of-the-line quarterback that they thought they were getting, yeah, they don't have that either. How'd that all work out for you? Usually if it's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true, right? I mean, isn't that what the Browns thought they were doing, getting over on everybody?
They thought that.
Yes.
But they were on an island.
Yeah, and now they are too. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Boy, that's happening. All right, what's the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh? Mike Tomlin said to report, well, I'll tell you what he said next. Justin Fields won a game. Russell Wilson's the starting quarterback, but he's hurt. Will Russell Wilson ever be the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh or anywhere? We can get into that when we come back. Hey, check venue off your event planning checklist. I can help you with this. Check venue off your list. Book at the Albuquerque Convention Center, right in the heart of downtown. Their team has you covered. Beautiful, customizable dining sets, a sophisticated, extravagant food and beverage menu. A staff with event planning expertise. You can elevate your next event in a facility, in a space that is decorated in culture with nearly 200 public art pieces. Every room, there's a spot for you and your event. They have over 600,000 square feet of meeting rooms, 30 meeting rooms, 3 ballrooms, 4 exhibit halls, an auditorium. Gather your friends, gather your family, get ready, and mark your calendar for all the upcoming events that you need to plan. Holiday season's coming up. Albuquerque Convention Center has got you covered right in the heart of downtown. Parking adjacent to the facility. Easy in, easy out. Beautiful spot, great staff, unbelievable options. They will take care of you. Isleta New Mexico Bowl has hosted an event there for years. Why? Because they take care of our people. It's about hospitality for us, and I know it is about that for you as well. You've been to events there. You know how great they are. Book your event at the Albuquerque Convention Center. You will be a star. It's all online at albuquerquecc.com or give them a call. 505-768-4575. Area code 505-768-4575.
This report is sponsored by...
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Murcia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All In Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
As I sit here today, we're preparing as if Justin's going to be our quarterback. I think that's the appropriate way to do it. Speculation is a waste of time. Russell's hurt. He's not available to us. So you guys know, as a general practice, I focus my energy on those that are available and their readiness, end quote. Will Russell Wilson start a game for them?
Justin Fields doesn't turn football over. Adds to the rushing game. Mike Tomlin just wants a quarterback that won't mess it up right now.
Right.
The defense is that good.
So,
but you have your fingers crossed, you have your toes crossed with either of these guys taking snaps, because they do not instill a lot of confidence for your offense.
How much did you want to see Russ against the Broncos? Kind of did you?
There's a lot there, especially from Bronco fans, and speak contract that he was given to come in, and just the mess of decisions with that trade and the coaching hire along with him. Just oof.
You kind of did, right? More likely scenario: Russ starts every game this season after he's healed from this calf injury, or he doesn't start any.
In that scenario, I'd say he doesn't start any.
I think that's probably right, too. If Justin Fields doesn't turn the ball over, They get the Broncos after this. They get the Chargers, the Colts, the Cowboys, the Raiders. I'm talking about the Steelers schedule. I mean, and let's see if Fields gets better. Look, he's not the only quarterback that was subpar this weekend. You like to focus on a guy because you think it reemphasized what you know. Let's see if he gets better in week 2. 505-246-0610. It is 9/11. You can reflect on that date. Some of you are on the text line. Emails Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquerque. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us, and my wife, and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico
For 5 years running.
It's the OD in the AM with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Going through your Wednesday midweek pickup day in fantasy football for most of you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Lobos will be on the road in Auburn this weekend. Aggies will be on the road in Fresno. It is 9/11. We're remembering 23 years ago today when our country was attacked as well, if you want to get in on that. 505-246-0610. That's how to get here. That's our the Sports Animal phone line. And our text line, your emails, Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. John sent a text, says, good morning, Jeff and JJ. This day, 9/11/2001. Here we are now 23 years later. And I, for one, will never forget that horrific Tuesday morning watching it all on the major networks for like a week straight. I was living here in Albuquerque, but was residing in hotels back then. I was very upset during that day, just pissed. How dare you attack the USA? Yes, never forget. Thanks, Jeff and JJ. God bless the USA. It's John in the Duke City. Appreciate you, John. Thank you. We've been in a lot of different things today. We've been in on the Mountain West in the 2-pack. We've been in a lot of different places today. JJ, this one hit me in part because of how crazy it was, and in part because the Lobos are going to Auburn this weekend. Their quarterback is Peyton Thorne. It's a good quarterback name, don't you think? Peyton Thorne. Peyton Thorne was getting criticized. He turned the ball over quite a bit for Auburn in their loss against Cal last weekend. And he said criticism after losses, like the one after the Cal game, has included requests for money from bettors who lost money on the game. Peyton Thorne, went on something called the Next Round. And he said bettors have messaged him on Venmo asking for money. Quote, they're definitely not sending cash. It's funny, when they lose money, they want their money back, but when they win money on a parlay, no one's ever sent me any money. End quote. Look, I brought this up the other day about what we're talking about when I told you I think the increase in the acceptance of sports betting has led to more verbal abuse and hell, all this kind of stuff. And then there's this report, JJ, that you put in here by Signify, which is an artificial intelligence company and partner of the NCAA. It found that 1 in 3 high-profile college athletes receive messages from individuals with a betting interest. The NCAA made a request. Maryland, Louisiana, Ohio, and Vermont are among the states that have banned sportsbooks from offering prop bets on college players. I don't know why it would surprise you, and I thought his response was classic. Y'all ain't offering me no money when you win on me, but now you want me to pay you because we lost? But this is a problem, dude.
And what legalized sports betting has done is it has brought in revenue in a lot of places, but it's made people okay with talking about their losses, but then attacking the people about it. And then used to be worried, like, well, I don't need to tell the whole world I'm betting on sports. You know, this is illegal. Now
they can
don't care and get on social media.
Yeah,
and fire off whatever you want to fire off.
Well, every show's got it. I mean, the lines are everywhere. They're on the bottom line on your TV. They never the bottom line used to run scores all the time. I mean, for the last 30 years since that technology came into existence. I think it's probably about 30 years old. But not until the last few years was it running overs and unders and point spreads. I mean, you can't get away from that. and you can't watch a game without. I mean, listen to JJ. What's the game you play? Underdogs, right? It's all prop bets, right?
No, it's not.
It's not
Daily fantasy.
But daily fantasy overs unders, right? Isn't that prop bets?
There's a lot of legal terms of that where you cannot associate those things together.
I can't associate the vernacular. But so to play one of these daily fantasies, I'm playing, is the guy going to go higher or lower than a certain number, correct? Help me understand the difference between that and a prop bet.
It's gambling regulations.
It's semantics, correct?
It's things you can or cannot say when referencing certain products.
Hence, okay. And look, I get it. You get stuff you can say. I can't. I get it. But dude, so if you lose your bet, are you getting into dude's DMs and saying, or getting in his Venmo and saying, "Hey, you owe me $100"?
I've never felt that way. And I play a lot of fantasy sports, talk about it every week, really enjoy it, but I've never felt the need when I put a fantasy team together, pretending to be a general manager, that I need to lash out at someone on social media for not making a play.
We got a problem, man. I mean, a real problem. And there's no stuff in that toothpaste back in the tube. Or the genie back in the bottle, or whatever. It's only getting worse. What were we talking about on the betting thing? Who was it that was getting harassed? Was it?
Well, I think it was the WNBA story.
Yeah.
About the players getting harassed, and you asked the question: is it because of gambling? And I'm sure it plays a factor in it. That you, all of a sudden, people would care that much about a WNBA game and players.
Yeah, and like you talked today about Underdog, and you like some WNBA plays. So obviously a lot more people are playing it. Obviously there were bets on Auburn, whether it was on Peyton Thorne himself and his prop bets, or more likely on his team to cover and beat a Cal team. And I'm going to guess there's plenty of them are laying 28 and a half to beat New Mexico this weekend. I just think if you're going to bet, man, you got to be mature enough and understand enough. And you may lose, dude. You may lose.
Not you may, you're going to.
And that's why all these companies are there. Yeah. And you're probably going to lose more than you win. Yeah. You like Lobos going into Auburn? You like 28, by the way, since we're talking about it?
With the way Auburn was playing and the talk coming from their head coach Hugh Freeze this week about simplifying everything, Lobos are 2-0 against the spread. The gigantic number that they covered. I think they can cover this weekend.
Lobo Hobo says, when was the last time Lobo fans were this confident going into an opponent like this, Jeffy? 1989, when Emmitt Smith went nuts in Florida and the Gators needed every one of those yards to hang on and beat Lobo football in a photo finish? I don't know.
I don't think anyone's that confident.
I mean, how confident are Lobo fans? They think they're going to win, or they think they're going to cover?
You can cover by losing by 27 points.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they lost 61-39 at Arizona, and they covered. So if you bet them, you felt a little bit better. Right? Because
not talking money line here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Jack, politics is like sports, Jeffy. Because we sit here on a daily basis and say, gosh, we all just watched the same thing but saw totally different things, right? You can watch the same thing. You and I could sit there and watch the same thing. Maybe it's a debate, maybe it's a ball game. And we could see something totally different. Jack says you spin it to fit your narrative. I'm flipping between CNBC, a financial channel, and MSNBC, a politics channel, discussing the inflation report that came out this morning. And even though they have the same parent company, it was interesting to see very different spin. MSNBC was claiming victory. Inflation was a third this point in 2023. On the other hand, CNBC was talking about how it came in hot again and it's time for investors to reevaluate their portfolios. It's the same thing, Jack. It's life, man. Politics is no different than sports, is no different than anything else. It's life, man. We all have our biases and we see things through the lens of our biases. It's very hard, as much as every one of us says, I'm objective. I'm sane. I'm looking. No. We all have a little bit. No, some more than others. But yeah, if you've got an interest, and we all do because we all have life experiences, and yeah, you have some sort of a bias because your life experiences led you to some sort of a thought process. It's just natural. But yeah, I appreciate that, Jack. I think you're right. 10:50, but Jeff, I thought senior night for Albuquerque's baseball team was going to be on 10:50 on Sunday. Dude, I don't know. Ice Soaps on Sunday somewhere? They're in the afternoon, right? Yeah. Yeah, they're there in the afternoon. So who's this? Gopher just sent me this meme. 300-yard passing games. This is actually stunning. I've not seen this. Last 2 seasons, Cleveland Browns quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson has started 13 games. He has 0 300-yard passing games. Joe Flacco started 5. Do you know how many 300-yard passing games he had in 5 games? 4. And he won games. It is stunning to me.
They let him walk to Indianapolis.
That one is stunning to me. Thank you, Gopher. I appreciate that. All right, keep them coming at 505-246-0610. That's area code 505-0610. We come back. We haven't talked about this, JJ. New Mexico State has submitted a special appropriation request to the state of New Mexico's Department of Finance. How much money do they want and for what? Innovative or overly aggressive? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
The Jim.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burquia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Gopher says, we heard the same thing on this OD, Jeff. Remember, we were callers talking about how pissed some folks were leaving University Stadium, not because Lobo football lost, because they'd taken money line and were already making plans to hit the window with 12 minutes left when Lobo football was up 31-14 over Montana State. Oh, that's what betting is, man. I mean, look at all the games this weekend that swung. Look at the NFL. I mean, all the teams that were down, Buffalo, Miami, Chicago, all came back. Well, it all swung. The Rams. Well, the Rams were getting 4.5 and it went into overtime. If Detroit would have hit the touchdown at the end of the game, Rams would have won. If you're on the Rams, you win the bet. You had 4.5. You lose by 4. You win. Detroit gets the coin flip. They go down the field. They win by 6. You lose your bet. That's how frustrating that is, man. It's a bad beat. You're like, let him in. Let him in. All right. We have had conversations about the House decision in college football and what all this means. House versus the NCAA. Revenue sharing, NIL, where money's going, how are you going to support non-revenue sports in college athletics? And so New Mexico, and this came out in the Journal a couple of days ago. Jeff Grammer wrote the story. NMSU, according to this story, has submitted a special appropriation request to the state's Department of Finance and Administration. This will be heard in legislative session starting in January. It would establish a $137 million endowment to benefit the 10 women's sports at NMSU. Mario Moch is their athletic director down there. He said the looming implications of the House case is the impetus to accelerate this idea because our women's sports have been performing well, overperforming on what they are being provided from the financial standpoint. But if the House case goes through and if these scholarship changes occur, I can see us backsliding significantly, and we're trying to get ahead of the curve and be innovative, end quote. So if this goes through, the proposal would create an endowment generating $5 to $6 million a year off of interest, which would be allocated to New Mexico State. The request is $27.5 million over 5 years for women's sports. If the endowment proposal fails, there's another request. I give it to Mario for being creative. I don't know how this is going to go. And I'd have to look deeper into it if it's on, just on interest. And we know that there's a lot of oil money and there's money there. They're going to have to be compliant with Title IX. If revenue sharing goes through and 20% of your budget has to go to NIL, go to the players. I don't know how a place like New Mexico State, and I'm looking at the numbers through here, and I'm struggling to believe this is their, in the story, it says their athletic budget is only $18 million. I know New Mexico's is about $49 million. Can New Mexico State's only be $18 million for athletic budget? It can't, can it? But 5.7 is tied to women's, according to this story. How do you feel about this? How do you feel about them going to the state legislature and saying, hey, we need help. Here's a plan. Generate money off of an endowment and off of interest and help us take care of our student athletes, our women's student athletes.
It's the right move. Because when you have universities where you're sitting back and you think there's no issues with money, right? Yet Ohio State has talked about potentially moving Olympic sports into club territory.
Ohio State.
Yeah. Like, that's a story that's out there. We've been following that with what these universities are looking to do if the revenue sharing comes through, where they're going to have to put more into their student athletes, legitimately be paying them outside of the stipends and name, image, and likeness coming from collective. Like, this will be coming from the university directly. And
partially anyway.
You want to keep funding certain sports, you're going to have to ask to do things like this.
I give it to Mario for being aggressive on this and going and making this ask. Now, I don't know how it's going to be received in Santa Fe. And it's going to be couched the right way for legislators, especially legislators who are not big on athletics. I think the fact that it's being couched as being for women's sports is interesting. And there's going to be a reporting process. They're going to have to show that all of whatever money they get goes towards supporting women's sports, which I think he'll be fine with, right? Because then he can use his other revenue for football, for men's basketball, for baseball. I think, look, I'm an athletics guy. I understand athletics. I understand why it's there. If the university went to the legislature and said, hey, we need this exact number of dollars to help support our chemistry department or our theater or our mathematics department or an endowment for research, I think people would be, oh, yeah, no, I get it. That's what the university's there for. But because it's athletics, people say, well, no, why aren't they supporting themselves? I think people need to be educated. And, JJ, this is going to be the toughest putt on this. There are people who are so dug in. These two universities, the two Division I universities in the state of New Mexico, have been so scrutinized in regards to finances over the years. And there is such a preconceived notion, whether rightfully or not rightfully so, and I think there's arguments on both sides of that they've mismanaged money and where it is, and there's a big swath of people who believe that athletic department should be self-sustaining. In this new era that we are now entering, where 20%, I keep using that 20% number because that's the number that's thrown out, it hasn't been determined yet, of your athletic budget is going to have to go towards paying players. So automatically cut 20% of your budget out. The notion that they should be self-sustaining, I think it's ridiculous. Michigan can be, maybe. But to your point, Ohio State's going to have to cut women's sports or cut sports. You still have to be Title IX compliant, by the way. That is still a federal law that you have to be compliant with Title IX.
And it's going to get to the point where they're going to test that law.
Oh, I promise that's true. And I think they're going to lose.
What are you going to do about it when we...
Look, the NCAA has lost every piece of litigation, but that's not the NCAA. That's a federal law. What are you going to do? I mean, I don't know. We're going to find out. Somebody's going to find out. But the notion that whole mindset, why are we giving them any money for damn athletics and all they do is lose? It's going to be a hard mindset in the public to break, JJ. And I don't know how you go through on this education to change people's mind, to make them understand that this is a different world now. Well, I don't care. We still need cops. We still need border security. We still need school. You're right. Yes. Nobody's saying we don't need that. But can we also fund women's athletics at our universities? Can we help fund athletics at our universities? Well, that's not important. Well, it is. It's not as important. I think we all agree that we need police, we need security, we need education. All those. Yes. No, you're right. Some of those things are more important. But can't they all be addressed? And there's enough money. We're the richest poor state there is, man. All we do is say we're poor, and we hear about all this money in surplus.
Well, this is why you need stories like this and to discuss it. Say, what are we doing in this landscape? You have these universities, Division I athletics. That's where we're starting. And then you can have the discussion about everything else. How do you want them to be funded? What level do you want them to play and participate at? Because these are the changes that have occurred in college athletics. The potential for the House settlement to come down adds even more pressure to universities all across the country. So how do you want to handle that?
Oh, that's right. I mean, all of that's right. And it's changing. And the way athletics have been, that you've known them all, however many years you follow college athletics, it is changing. The model is changing drastically. And it's all come down from litigation and court decisions. And the money, while the money in numbers coming in may be bigger, or maybe not, the money going out is insanely bigger. 505-246-0610. I just love your thoughts. What do you think of New Mexico State going to the legislature and making this ask? And should New Mexico do it as well? And you're shaking your head yes, and I say yes as well.
Yes, I think it's fair for both universities, if something is coming down from this state, that they're both involved in the conversations or whatever the outcome may be.
All right, 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff@sportsanimalabq.com or JJ @sportsanimalabq.com. When we come back, I want a little baseball for you. Manny Machado had a historic home run yesterday. The number may surprise you, but a little history for him. And the Dodgers maybe got some good news on the pitching front last night as well. We'll do that when we get back. Hey, who's watching your home when you're not there? Don't let it be the bad guys. Call the good guys and have them protect what you've worked so hard to build. That's International Protective Service. IPS watches my home. They watch thousands of homes in Albuquerque and Santa Fe, businesses as well. I know you've seen them out and about. You've been in retail stores where they've been protecting the property there. They work. They keep the bad guys away. If you've been a victim of property crime, you know it takes too long for police to respond. That's simply because they don't have enough officers. IPS responds within 5 to 7 minutes of an alarm going off. They got strategically placed officers all over Albuquerque, Santa Fe as well. They react quickly. Many times they catch the criminals in the act, detain them, the police pick them up, and IPS can provide you standing guards if you need eyes on your property around the clock. They'll install alarms, security cameras, and they monitor those security cameras with state-of-the-art facilities 24/7. It raises the level of security around your home and business. Look, you've worked too hard to build what you've got. Don't let some bad guys just go in and take from you. Protect it. IPS's number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live and work.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez.
Tellus doesn't want to pay for it. If it's a federal law, Jeff, then tell the feds to pay for it. Okay? This is from, where'd this come from? Oh, tell us, with all the work Congress has to do, Jeffers, we have this federal budget shutdown looming. And what are they worried about? Tyreek Hill's traffic stop. What if I told you that it isn't like your taxpayer money? I always, to me, public money goes into a pot. I don't care. Does it come from your taxes? Does it come from oil and gas revenue, whatever? But if the ask is from, hey, it's from the oil and gas revenue, would it make you feel better? It's not your tax money. Would it make you feel better that way? I don't know how you differentiate when it all goes into one big pot, but whatever. Does it make you feel better? Or is it, no, that money should be going to schools and police, and which, by the way, isn't a bad argument. I understand that. But I think there's a way to do more than one thing. More than one thing can be right. We can all walk and chew gum at the same time. I think we can hopefully make our community safer, stronger, better, educated, better, take care of civilian safety, prosecute criminals, have a justice system, and be able to fund our universities and their athletics. I think that's right from what I understand with all the surplus money we have. So would that make you feel better if it said, well, it's not coming from your money? How about that? You better? 505-246-0610. A little baseball as we hit the last couple of weeks of your regular season. JJ, did you see the history that Manny Machado made yesterday? 2-run home run, became the San Diego Padres all-time career home runs leader. And I'm like, wow. Has he been there that long? Do you know what the number is that gave him the record for San Diego Padres all-time home run? Now, Padres have been around since, the late 60s, I think? Early 70s? Do you know how many it is?
I was surprised how low the number was.
Was it 154? Is that what it was? Something crazy like that? 162? Something like really, really low. 164. Did you know, I was listening on the way into the show before us, and I knew the answer. Did you know the answer? Who held the Padres record before that? Did you know who it was?
I did not.
Yeah, I did know Nate Colbert was the guy. He was an original Padre. But Machado's home run, 26th of the year, and snapped his tie with Nate Colbert at the top of the Padres list. 339 home runs in his career with the Orioles and Padres. If he went into the Hall of Fame now, and I think he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer, is he going wearing a Padres hat or an Orioles hat?
Padres.
Better as a Padre than an Oriole?
It was a surprisingly small number.
Yeah.
164.
Yeah. For a franchise that's been around as long as the Padres have, yeah.
That's pretty... the majority of the rest of the league.
Is that the lowest one?
That's the lowest one.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through it right now. They have a great list up on MLB.com because you
would go Rays, Diamondbacks, some of these younger organizations.
Tampa Bay. Let's look up what the Rays are.
Is it? Let me guess.
Longoria has 261.
Yeah, I would have guessed Longoria. Okay.
261 with the Rays.
Yeah. Luis Gonzalez for the Diamondbacks? Because they're a relatively newer franchise.
Yes.
It was Luis Gonzalez.
What do you think the number is?
If Evan Longoria was 261, I'll go 233.
Ooh. 224.
That's pretty close, right?
I had a 51 homer season.
Yeah. But Rocky. Well, the Rockies in that ballpark.
Don't discredit the Hall of Fame career.
Well, what's the number? What's the number for the Rockies then? The career would be Todd Helton?
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's the number? I'm going to guess 389.
369 home runs.
All right, So the Padres is the lowest? They play in a ballpark that historically, back before this park, Jack Murphy Stadium was a bigger ballpark. They played night games with the Marine layer that came in. They're about 8-9 miles in off the water. So it was thicker air. The ball didn't always fly out of a big ballpark. What's the next lowest franchise total for most home runs?
From scanning through this,
yeah,
I can have more time to do a list. I don't think there's any under 200.
And the Padres have been around for a lot of years, man. Yeah, that one was really, really surprising to me when I heard that this morning.
Like even the Marlins. Who do you think the Marlins is?
Boy.
Couple World Series in there. But then it'd sell everyone off after they won.
Who's the Marlins?
It's Giancarlo Stanton.
Yeah, well,
you don't think of a long track record. Everybody's still at 267 with the Marlins.
How many years? Like 6?
8 years. So
okay,
yeah.
Padres, by the way, are only 4.5 games back of the Dodgers. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto returned to the Dodgers yesterday. Now the Dodgers were sloppy, and they didn't win, and they lost to the Cubs. But after 3.5 months, Yamamoto was pretty sharp. He pitched 4 1/3 innings. Cubs only had a run in his 4 1/3. He struck out 8. Fastball averaging over 96 miles per hour. Splitter was good. Curveball was good. Command was sharp. He could be a difference maker if he's sharp and if he's healthy and if he's fresh. I mean, he's obviously fresh. But this is the guy that they went out and spent all that money on in the offseason, got shelled in the first game, has been on the shelf for most of the season, 3.5 months. JJ, if they get him back for the postseason, this answers some of the big questions that they've had. Tyler Glasnow's out. Clayton Kershaw's out. Where are the Dodgers getting starting pitching? And this could be a big answer for them.
They have to have him back. They need healthy arms with upside. They have to have him for the postseason.
I think that's right. And the performance they got out of him yesterday was a big deal. We had a little brouhaha yesterday. Bryce Harper and Edward Uceta. Tampa Bay and the Phillies went at it. Nick Castellanos was hit by a pitch. We got a little shoving. Guys are getting hot, man. Late in the year. If you're not watching, and usually Tuesdays, Wednesdays, you're catching some ball. There's some pennant races going on, and we are at about, what are we at, 146 games? So there's 2 weeks left. We're on White Sox watch. They're 33-113. Yankees are a half game better than the Orioles in the American League East. It is a great race there. Cleveland 3.5 games better than Kansas City in the American League Central, and the Astros are 4.5 up on the Mariners in the American League West. So you got races there. In the National League, Dodgers are the tightest race. They're 4.5 up on the Padres, 5 up on the Diamondbacks. Brewers and Phillies are going to win their divisions, but right now the Dodgers are only 2 games up on Milwaukee for that first round, not playing in the wild card, which is a big deal, especially with their pitching. So if you look at the wild card races right now, Baltimore and Kansas City and Minnesota are your wild card teams. Tigers are 3 games back. I love that the Tigers are still there. They got a shutout yesterday. They're like their first complete game shutout since 2021. Red Sox and Mariners are 4 back. National League, your wild card teams are in the West. Padres and Diamondbacks. The Mets and Braves are tied for the final spot with the Cubs 4 games back. So you got races to watch, boys and girls. You got some baseball that matters still, and then the playoffs will hit here in a couple of weeks. But yeah, that number on Machado shocked me. That he's the Padres' all-time home run leader with 164. And I would have gone back to Nate Colbert. Just because I lived there for a while, and I mean, I don't recall seeing the dude play. I just remember the name and him being around back in the day. 505-246-0610. If you want to get in, we still have time for you. We'll wrap it up. Everything you got to know as you go through your Tuesday. 505-246-0610. Emails are coming in. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com and JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. It is your opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. Our law firm was founded by my father, Thibaut J. Chavez, with one goal: to get New Mexicans the help they need. That's why we built a different kind of law firm. We focus on family values, dedicated service, and we make a real contribution by giving back to our communities. We can't change what happened to you or your loved ones, but we can help you get back on the road to recovery. We're by your side, and we're still as local as red and green.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
You followed him from the first day he signed with the team. You remember the day he poured in 63 points? The night he played a sold-out concert to 30,000 people. The day he gave his infamous speech. That's why you believe in heroes. That's why you remember and collect their memorabilia. All in Autographs, where you can meet some of the greats, collect some of the greats, and share your own legacy. Visit All In Autographs, where you can celebrate the great and have your own piece of history.
I'm David C. Chavez, personal injury attorney. For over 4 decades, our law firm has remained steadfast in our commitment to serving the remarkable people of New Mexico that have been injured through no fault of their own. I'm a New Mexican fighting for New Mexicans. I received my bachelor's degree at NMSU and earned my law degree at UNM. I can proudly say I'm both an Aggie and a Lobo. Call now and I will meet with you. 40 years strong, and we're still as local as red and green.
conditioned and rewarded for doing more. But people weren't designed for all that doing. Our bodies need to settle into nothing from time to time. Into nothing at all. In a world obsessed with doing more, we invite you to undo.
Remember 9/11, 23 years ago today when our country was attacked. All the changes that have occurred in all of our lives since, those lives that have been lost, affected. As Dan said earlier, never forget. And wherever you were, however you did it, however old you were, if you were alive, it affected you. If you weren't, it should. I was listening over to KKB earlier when I was in the lunchroom getting some coffee earlier. Somebody said, what about in 100 years? Should they remember this? What do you mean, should they remember this? Like, should they remember now? Well, what? Should they?
It's history, so you should.
I mean, you've heard of the Boston Tea Party. Well, it was before me. Yeah, but you read about it, right? You studied it, right? You've heard about wars. Yes. Should we remember it? Please, don't ever forget it and teach it to those who weren't around and the importance of it and what it meant and how it felt. Don't ever forget that. All right, what do you got to know as you go through your game? Thursday night football tomorrow. Raheem Mostert out for the game. Devon Achane, game time call for the Dolphins. Mostert won't play against the Bills, so they're without their leading rusher. He is estimated to have missed all of Dolphins practices this week. Chest injury. Achane missed Monday and Tuesday's practice with an ankle injury. Did practice yesterday. His availability is we'll see, according to his head coach. That's for tomorrow's game. Go out and get Jeff Wilson, Jalen Wright. Those are your dudes.
Well, Achane was practicing this morning. It was light, but he was on the field. He wasn't out. So that's positive for him being a game time decision tomorrow.
So that's what you got.
And Jalen Wright probably going to be active in this game.
Yes.
The rookie speed burner from Tennessee.
Christian McCaffrey, iffy for game 2 with his Achilles issue. The Niners play the Vikings this weekend. And that's pretty much your news this morning. That's what broke this morning. Manny Machado is now the Padres' all-time leading home run hitter with 164, which is crazy to me. But that was the number as he hit a home run yesterday. And the Padres win. They're only 4.5 games back of the Dodgers in the National League West with 2 weeks to go. JJ, this is interesting for tomorrow's game, and you put it on here, and I hadn't gotten to this. Tua Tagovailoa started 8 games for the Dolphins against the Bills. I don't know that I would have guessed this. I would have guessed a losing record, but I wouldn't have guessed 1-7. He gets it. Quote, that's going to be what's written out there until we do something about it. It's going to be the narrative that we can't beat the Bills until we do beat them and beat them consistently. None of that's going to change. We have an opportunity to do that this year. We have an opportunity to do that this Thursday, end quote. Is it narrative a narrative if it's fact? I mean, if you're 1-7, is that a narrative?
That's not. Like, that's what it is. And Miami knows that. Tua knows that. It's late in the season. Whatever condition, if it's cold in Buffalo, if it's cold in Kansas City, are you going to be able to make those plays?
It's not cold. You got a break. You get the home game later. You get the early game up there. You get a break. You don't have to go to Buffalo in December.
No, but that's the question with this team.
I get it.
No one cares what they do Thursday night. If they're going to be in this position late in the season, can you win that game?
No. What is a narrative? A narrative is always like askew to me. Like that's how you interpret something. There's no interpretation on 1-7, is there?
And I shouldn't say no one cares, but I don't think this is a situation like I think people still believe Miami is going to be in contention for a playoff spot. Now, when it comes to winning the division, then tomorrow's game is huge.
So I get the Bills at home in 2.5. Is that what I get? Why don't I take that? Tell me what I'm missing. Oh, the Bills are on the road. Never mind. So all that I just said about where the game is and when they got to go there. Sorry, never mind. I was wrong. They have to go down there. When When do they get the Dolphins back up there? When is it? Oh, November 3rd. It won't be that bad. It won't be that bad. So I get 2.5. I get the Bills on the road.
And so, really, these games matter in the division races. I don't want to make it sound like I'm downplaying this. I understand the importance of division games. But the question, people still believe the Dolphins are going to be a good team. And it's when those conditions change, when they're on the road late in the season, what type of team are we going to see? Because the end to the season for Miami, Jordan Love is back healthy. Like the final stretch for the Dolphins late in the year. So on the November 28th, they're at Green Bay. And then they host the Jets at Houston, host the 49ers at Cleveland, at the Jets. That is a fun stretch run to get ready for the postseason.
Yeah.
The road challenges, division games. See what you got.
How much does home field advantage matter in the NFL?
I think it's huge for certain teams, which is why
it's seasonal,
I would
right?
put more pressure on the Dolphins.
Well, and seasonally, right? When a dome team goes to a cold place in late November and December, matters more than the Lions going to play the Niners in September. No?
Yes.
Home teams were 8-5
If
this
you're
weekend.
Miami, you're not expecting it to be minus 27, but that's what you had to walk into last year.
Yeah. Home teams were 9-5 this weekend. And the road teams that won, Cowboys, Vikings, Texans, Patriots, Steelers. I mean, I don't know what it's worth. I think it matters. My nuts, I kind of like the Bills in 2.5 tomorrow night.
Don't be Josh Allen has been very successful against the Dolphins. Josh Allen's that dude. He's on that tier right now. Short week with some of the injuries now. Achane can play. It's still huge, but Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, you still got those guys.
You saw the
Just
the
throw it
Bills
up and go get it.
And the Bills. They had a really good second half, but that defense is not what it was like last year's team.
All right, what do I watch tonight? I got some baseball to watch tonight, don't I? I got baseball that matters tonight, don't I? Dodgers and Cubs, late night. Astros matter. The way the Astros turned around. Remember the way they started the season? When they were talking about a yard sale and Alex Bregman's going to be a deadline trade because they're going to be out of it and he's on the last year of his deal and he's going to be a free agent. And all of a sudden he turned around, they turned it around, and they're 4 games clear. I mean, how about the way they turned it around? Because they weren't good. And Alex is having himself a year. The way he started off, I mean, he's hitting, 257 with 22 home runs after a rough start. They got to re-sign him, right? Like, he is such a fabric of what this incarnation of the Astros has been. He's such a part of that community. I'm not telling you that he's got to spend his whole career there, although, I mean, you kind of lean that way, but because nobody does, right? Nobody, I mean, him and
I don't think
Altuve.
there's any doubt that Bregman's going to continue with the Astros.
You don't think there's any doubt? I think there's a
is
doubt.
Houston out on him?
Are they out on him?
Or does Alex Bregman think he's going to be like the highest paid player in the game?
No. But he's a free agent. All right, Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4, and then you get the Isotopes and Las Vegas. Adrian looks great, man. Looks great on the visuals. Thank you. Big day for you.
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other. Please, we're back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with award-winning radio. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman!
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.